Hello and welcome to this episode of the Neotaku podcast. I'm your host, Joji Matthews, and today I am joined by Mirage Van.
What's up?
And today we're talking. Wait, did we even decide on a topic?
We decided on visual novels.
Oh, yeah, visual novels.
Professional
love
on its
visual.
best.
Yep. Support us on Patreon at patreon.com/Neotaku.
Yep.
I just woke up.
I just got out of class, so I'm feeling you at the same time.
Yeah. So Mirage, you have a storied history with visual novels, I believe.
I've been reading visual novels since I think I've been in late elementary school, early middle school. I've followed most of the key works and some from different other publishers. I'm mostly a names person. I don't know labels very often, but yeah, I like my visual novels. What about you?
I've read a handful of visual novels, and of course there was a legendary 8 hour long stream in which my friend Trey Allen and I played the visual novel Lesbian Space Pirate Simulator through every possible branching of the discussion, at least we believe to begin with. And then we decided to do some research on the person who created that game. And let me tell you this, that game is the most fascinating thing ever, in this planet. And I'll save my discussion specifically pertaining to the saga of Adam Snowflake and that game for later on. But it's quite interesting. But I've also played, the Nekopara visual novels, or at least I've played Volume 1, and I've played, a handful of other independent Western visual novels. Gotta rep Katawa Shoujou and all that.
My SO is a very, very big fan of Katawa Shoujou. He was on the 4chan threads when it first started popping up, and he's always loved it. I think his favorite is Lily. I don't.
Well, let me tell you that your SO is a man of taste, because Lily is the best.
I know. Isn't she the one that doesn't have legs, or is that someone else?
That's someone else.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know
Lily is the blind one.
That's the one I like. Okay, then I am the one with good taste. He likes the one without legs.
She's pretty good. I believe that's Dean. Let me just check. This is the most enthralling podcast that we've ever done.
We're very chill. I've been recently reading on the side, not a lot of visual novels, but I've been reading a lot of light novels. But I've been wanting to go back to Nekopara Volume 3 because I finished it, but I wasn't satisfied with it. I think I clicked too fast because I was just trying to look for the cinnamon scenes, to be really honest, and I just didn't take it in because I was so bloodthirsty. And, yeah.
I just need to correct myself. Emmy is the one without legs.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, because I remember him telling a story, supposedly. Spoilers also, if you guys... why are you guys here? That supposedly, I guess, she wants to masturbate with a lemon or something. I don't know. I know that there's something lemon oriented in her her arrow scenes, and I'm just okay, that's fine. She likes the butt.
Butts are cool.
She likes it in the butt. I know that for sure, from what I understand at least. So Oh god, if I'm gonna have to trace back my experience from light novels. I mean, not light novels, visual novels. Well, let me let you start off. What do you have a favorite visual novel?
Uh, well, like having a favorite, I believe I would need to like have experienced more to really have a well-formed decision on that front. But in terms of visual novels that I have like kind of had the most emotionally resonant connection to, I guess Katawa Shoujou is right up there. Um, and
Pretty
then like
genuine.
yeah, um, and other than that, I mean that like there are ones that I played when I was 13 that oh man, they got tits in them, and so I remember them from that.
Oh man, I think like you can have a favorite. Like, do you know any adaptations of visual novels that you've watched that you've really enjoyed? Because that can count too. Like,
Oh man, well like there are quite a few visual novel adaptations out there. I guess I'd have to say Petite Princess Yusi. Oh yeah. Do we count Princess Maker as a visual novel?
what is
Because it's not precisely a novel.
hold
It's
on.
more like a stat management game.
Are you talking about
Um,
Long Live the Queen? Or are you talking about something else?
it's the Long Live the Queen is a clone of Princess Maker, which came out in Princess Maker 2 came out in 1991. It was produced by Studio Gainax.
Huh. I have never heard of this. Oh my god, it is a fucking exact clone. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Um, but like, yeah, would you classify Long Live the Queen as a visual novel? Because I would say it's more along the lines of stat management, time
It's a
management
life
stuff.
sim. It's a life
Yeah,
sim. I don't think it counts exactly. Because while
yeah,
it has visual novel esque, like, kind of facets to it, it's really not just a visual novel.
yeah. Um, Other than that, I guess I'd say Planetarian. Planetarian's pretty dope.
Planetary is really fucking good. And it's a good, honest, like, start into getting into visual novels. The thing is that drives a lot of people away from reading visual novels is mainly because of their length, their repetitiveness, and just their stationary nature. And they find, like, people who I recommend visual novels to usually is like, well, I could just read a book. And it's like, but visual novels do like they have more ability to tell their story in the medium that they're in. Like
Hmm.
I like visual novel is like almost like a night light novel upgraded to a video game, but it can also use just the graphics and assets like pertaining to the technology of the time to enhance the story. Like when you're reading a book, you have to imagine the music that you think would happen in that scene, whereas with a visual novel, they wabba bing bang boom, they put some music in for you. You're crying your eyes out. Have fun.
Yeah, and I think that that is like kind like the fact that a visual novel can have like full on animated cutscenes throughout it is like a pretty huge deal, like from like a storytelling standpoint as well. Yeah.
I like I am of the camp that Clanad wouldn't be as popular as it is without the music that it has in both its adaptation and its original game. Like the music is so intrinsic to like just the mood and the theme in Clanad that it's really I just can't see it being as popular as it was. It would probably be really forgettable, honestly, if it didn't have that. Uh I'm a big key person. I when I first started playing visual novels, I started off with Air back in 2006, I think it was, and I like fell the fuck in love with the series. Just the the key triad in general. And I didn't watch Clanad actually after like I funny enough went in the full actual chronological timeline of when everything was released. So I went Air, Canon, Canon 2006. Yes, I watched Canon. And then I went into Clanad, but with specifically the visual novels, I've dabbled in all of them. I finished Air about twice, and I I just love that fucking visual novel so much. Uh, I like the thing. I don't think a lot of people get about visual novels outside of just all the whining and bitching I've already said. Is like they tell such different stories than what's really allowed, and just other shit. And I just why like I go read a book. Go read your visual books. I just wish people would fucking just go out of their way to just enjoy visual novels, to be really honest, because they're not that daunting. If you really find a good way to get through pages and enjoy it, you can do fine.
Hmm.
Are there some hurdles you experience though, like as somebody who like you'd like to read more visual novels, but you just can't get into this one thing?
I mean, reading, you know.
I can't get into reading. I just can't.
Yeah, I don't know. There's like whenever I sit down to read, I'm just like, oh man, I could be like watching an anime right now. Or like, I could be finishing like Ashita no Joe instead of like, you know, sitting here reading Fate Stay Night Heaven's Feel Root, which is like what, 40 hours long, something like that, on top of the main game. And so it's just like, hey guys, why are we so verbose over here?
Why are we so verbose over here?
Yeah. Like, I don't know. There are some visual novels that are legitimately daunting in length. Um and like I can see why if someone tries to get in from Fate, um
Ugh.
that they're just going to be like, "Well, I'm dead." Um but yeah, like, my introduction to visual novels was Sim Girls. Have you ever heard of Sim Girls?
I know some girls, yeah.
Yeah. Um, and so like Sim Girls is this for anyone in the audience not familiar is this flash visual novel um where it's basically an adaptation of DNA Squared, where basically you just gotta fuck shit tons all the time.
Just gotta fuck shit tons all the time. I'm gonna play it now. Oh god, the music is so 90s.
Yeah.
Alright, hold on.
Um but basically like in Sim Girls, like you're like this dude who has like the most desirable DNA, and so everyone wants to fuck you. Um
Criminal. Expert in strength, weak in knowledge. Best job, drug dealer. That's the boy. That's the boy right there. That was the Frutigresia before Frutigresia happened. All right. Sorry. Go play Sim Girls. You'll get my jokes.
yeah, but like so like with Sim Girls, it's actually a pretty short game overall. You can easily beat it in one sitting, and it's not that text heavy. It is majorly a life sim. And I think that the thing is that like for a lot of Western consumers, I think that they're more interested in life simulators than in actual visual novels, because of the like added layer of interactivity. Um, yeah.
Um, like I don't know. Like the thing is that the line between life sim and everything is like so blurred. Like you just really can't suss it out sometimes.
Mm.
And like some people even argue that life sims can be visual novels, but like I don't know. Like the thing is that despite what people don't like about visual novels and everything and trying to blend them in with like different genres, it's just not a visual novel after that point though. Like the closest thing I could call a visual novel after that point is probably Honey Pop. But Honey
Mm.
Pop is a puzzle game too on top of it.
Yeah. Like I would more so say that it's a Honey Pop is like a a life sim puzzle game. Uh, you know,
Yeah.
where it would almost fall down like the Persona Shin Megami Tensei kind of lineage of like kind of interactive games within games kind of stuff.
Yeah. Um kind of thinking just about visual novels in general because I'm thinking about it. I think everybody has on their mind right now like the subversive visual novels. So like School Days or Kara no Kanojo no Kanonjo or like Doki Doki Literature Club that's just gotten really popular and
Mm.
stuff.
Or
Um
as Econ had ranted on Twitter that Doki Doki Literature Club is just a lazy rip off of Kimi to Kanojo no Koi,
yeah,
um,
that's what I was
proclaiming that the
referencing.
developers were just a bunch of dumb hacks.
What the fuck, God?
I
God,
love
calm
that boy.
yourself. Chill your titties. I think honestly
Love.
that like I think Doki Doki Literature Club has a lot more. Well, like Kanojo is like a big precursor, of course, to Doki Doki Literature Club. Like it doesn't have like the same elements in it. Like it's there, but everything. But I definitely want to now at this point read Kanojo simply because of like, oh well, Doki Doki Literature Club took me on a wild ass ride. I'm gonna experience this wild ass ride and everything. The problem is like I think the thing about like these particular visual novels is they're like my worst fear. They're almost worse than horror games for me because like
Mm.
those particular horror visual novels, they fuck with your computer files. And because they fuck with your computer files, like even in just like a very minuscule, harmless way, it's still fucking terrifying. It's
Mm.
like horrible. And I don't like it. And I just I don't want the program to be touching my computer files.
Yeah.
I don't I don't know.
So you're not a huge Undertale fan?
Well, I can deal with Undertale. Like Undertale isn't that scary to
Mm.
me, to be really honest. Like there's just something so surreal and almost uncanny about Monica and Monica's ability to fuck with your computer. It's like this is more just referencing to Japanese inspired games, but uh the one with the bunny girl where it's a puzzle game, but if you fail enough at the puzzle game, it starts fucking you over and the files start getting corrupted and stuff like that. And it gets to the point where the climax is the bunny girl comes out of like the program and as like a JPEG like goes across your screen up to another screen.
Mm.
It's not a fun experience, I'll tell you what. I'll try and remember the name of it. Um have you ever been did you ever like read School Days or anything?
No, I've never read School Days. I've been meaning to for ages. Um,
Like the thing is about these visual novels that have so much acclaim and like these communities is that it doesn't really hit you that because they're visual novels, they're almost like static most of the time. So it's almost more terrifying how calm it is, and then it just happens. Like everything just happens at once, and you're just like, I didn't want this at 4 in the morning.
mm,
Because you know that most people, well, like the visual novel is a demographically most towards younger adult men in Japan who are otaku and stuff. That's kind of the thing. I mean, we really
Yeah.
want to get into what visual novels are popular for.
Oh, I mean, we're definitely going to go deep into that.
Deep, deeper than
Yeah.
a 4-year-old in a sand pit. Because we're four. Because we're just children. Oh,
Sandpits aren't that deep.
you don't know the sand pits I've seen.
Actually, there was that one game that Matt Pat did a game theory about where they had like they calculated like the depth of this pit, and it's something about chicken nuggets breaking your fall. And it was
What?
pretty dumb. There was some game about like a kindergarten where like you can kill everyone and stuff like that.
I'm trying. I kind of want to look up this bunny girl game, but on the other hand, I'm kind of terrified of the thumbnails. I kind of don't want to. Um,
Hmm.
a bunny girl game. I'll probably no. Damn it! I'm getting a stupid fucking let's player. All right. Um. uh. But the point I was trying to get at with specifically with like school days, like, is that people do say that that the video, the full motion videos are like the best part of it, and that's kind of true.
Hmm.
But it also like it just has a really solid it just has a really solid like fuck atmosphere, I think you can call it. Spoopy. I like it. I think it's scary at least.
Hmm. I
Um
don't know. I haven't played it, so I have no clue as to whether it's actually spoopy.
the game is called Irisu Syndrome. The puzzle game I was referring to, if anybody wants to go look that up. Uh, I'm not gonna go look at it. Please don't link it to me. Thank you. I already had my childhood ruined for that. Um, but like it seems like we're seeing, especially now in like the later 2000s, like we're seeing this big resurgence of these horror based, but yet seemingly innocuous games.
Hmm.
I don't know. It
Yeah.
seems to be a big thing that's going on right now, at least.
I mean, I think with like the general uptick in like the consumption of visual novels, especially in like English speaking markets, we're
Mm.
seeing more people wanting to kind of develop something along those lines. Because those seem to be the things that are actually getting popular. Because Negopara, it ships a shit ton of units, and then everyone thinks, oh, that's just what all visual novels are like, and then someone makes something that's subversive, and it's just like, oh, oh,
Like Nekopara is legitimately like it's pretty high. It's almost if if it was considered with the tech it has back in the day, it would probably be like the level of like a triple A visual novel, like from one of the main publishing houses. Like it has so much polish to it and just so much work put into like the
well,
animation
yeah. I
that
mean, like the fact that they have an entire 3D engine like baked into that game is nuts.
I don't know if it's Renpei or it's like something else. I think
It'd be something else.
it's another.
Because Renpai doesn't support 3D objects at all.
Yeah. I don't remember the program that animates things in 3D though. I remember hearing about it though. Um, I, I like kind of thinking about Type Moon because I'm just thinking about it now and how impenetrable it must seem to a lot of people to get into anything like Type Moon based when really all you need to do is just start with Tsukahime and go from there. That's
Yeah.
really it. Just
Don't try and read Fate. I'm just gonna lay this out there. Don't just don't. Just sit down, stop, put your hand, go into the kitchen, put your hand. Do you have a trash can? Open up the trash can, put your hand in there. That is where you belong. If you try to play Fate, okay?
the
I love you, but that's where you belong.
like the Type Moon universe, it's so much fun, but you can get so lost so fast. And it's like not even funny. I if I was to recommend an order in which people to go, and this is my order, so don't take it as like anything Creed. Go Tsukahime, Kagetsu Toya, then maybe do like Kara no Kyokai, and read the novels. Not like they're not actually visual novels; they're novels. Read
Yeah.
that, then go into Fate Stay Night, then go into Hollow Atraxia, and then go into Mahotsukai no Yoru. That's the order. And if you want to play like you have an option to play Melty Blood, the Melty Blood games on the side, just to kind of get an idea of like the fighting styles and everything. You can read the Tsukihime. You can play the Tsukihime Plus disc. You could read Suki no Sango, like, but really you just have to stick to like Tsukihime is one of the older ones, and then you go forward. Really, if you want it to be totally like chronological, I would probably read Mahotsukai no Yoru first, and then Tsukihime, and then the order. So, but that's just me. I'm not a Fate head. I really sympathized, I know we bring Digi up every fucking week, but I really did sympathize with Digi when he was like fucking upset at Fate Apocrypha, because like it's so confusing, and I don't blame the poor guy. Like the universe is really fucking weird, and you're never gonna get anything right with that fandom. Read Nasuverse work. Don't participate in the fandom. That's the end of it. That's what I say to you. If you want to experience the Nasuverse, but you don't want to be called a fucking idiot, just read about it and shut up. That's really the end of it. I don't. And that is my my obligatory rant on a Type Moon. Let me go look through my papers. Let me go through. My fidget spinner. No.
Oh shit! Dabs. What do millennials do?
They played Doki Doki Literature Club and call it the best visual novel of our time.
Well, it could be.
It's really fucking good. It's like really good. I mean, I'm a pussy, so I haven't played it myself. I've only watched people play it, but it looks really fucking good. It is really fucking good. Like, I think the one drawback for a lot of people for visual novels is if the visual novel doesn't resonate with you, it's pretty disposable and you can't play it again. It has no replay value almost. But then again, a book doesn't have any replay value as well. So, I mean...
Oh, there are some books with lots of replay value.
Talking about the Harry Potter series?
No. No, why the fuck would I say the Harry Potter series
I don't know.
has literally any replay value? Nah, although the Harry Potter games, high replay value.
High replay value, boys.
But no, like the book One Night Out Stealing. Have you ever heard of that?
No, but I'm gonna look it up.
It has no punctuation in it.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, this is a book. This isn't the visual novel. Okay.
Yeah, this is a book.
Okay,
Because you said books don't have replay value, and I'm just like, well, excuse me, but this one has lots because you need to like read it several times to understand it.
Oh my god, I could just imagine this being a horrible experience. Oh god,
Yeah.
I already can tell probably.
Mm.
So we're all kind of avoiding the elephant in the room being uh, the naughty, dirty hentai visual novel. So I
I
might as well
love
notice it.
them.
I love
I
them.
love
They're
all of them.
great. I mean, we did mention like we did talk about Fate Stay Night, and Fate Stay Night does have
It's
H
it's
scenes.
decently raunchy. Yeah.
And then there's
But I mean,
also Nikopara. Nikopara is H scenes. So
yeah. But I mean, there's stuff with more. I mean,
yeah.
like Bukake Ranch, that's just one that I'll throw out
Wait,
there.
what? Do I
Yeah,
not remember
Bukake
this?
Ranch.
What's Bukake Ranch?
It's a visual novel.
Wait,
Yeah.
what? Hold on. Okay. Um,
Yeah,
new
it's called
information.
Come on Bukake Ranch.
Come
Um
on, Bukake Ranch.
yeah, there's a link to it.
Bukake
Um
Ranch.
it's officially published by Manga Gamer. And
Oh
this
my
is like one
god.
of the games that when I was like 15, my friend gave to me on like a hard drive full of visual novels and anime. And so like I had some, I guess it is more of a simulation game, but like, you know, you
Is
know,
this like Stardew Valley except Bukake? And you come
yeah,
on the girls?
yeah, yeah.
Holy
No,
crap.
exactly. That is exactly what it
Wait,
is.
what? I need to experience this!
I can get you a copy, fam. Don't worry. Don't worry. Just keep it on the down low. You know.
Keep it on. Yeah, next week on Let's Play Come On Bukake Ranch, the
Mm.
Ball Crusher. I just can't get over this. This is so stupid.
But there's also like sister mother hypnotization. Yeah,
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff. The generic. Oh yeah, I'm hypnotizing my mother and sister, and I'm gonna make them fuck, and all that kind of stuff. Man, YouTube is just gonna hate this podcast for monetization purposes.
Who cares? I don't care. I don't give a crap, man. I don't know. Like, visual novels are fucking great. Let's be really honest. When I was a youngin' and I was walking in the grocery store and I looked on the shelf and I saw all these like novels with women clasping orangey tan, like Trump colored oily men. I'm just like, nah, dude, not my style. Those almost adolescent looking anime girls, tasty,
Mm.
tasty experience, boyo. Because we're talking about it, I got on Gelboru, and I'm gonna see what is trending right now.
But yeah, I mean, like, fundamentally, what is like the difference in cathartic nature from like like a fucking what the like romance novel, you know, quote unquote romance novel. Oh wait, I forgot to put the quotations around novel as well. But yeah, like, I can go to my like used bookstore and I can buy like 10,000 of those books, like no problem. But like what's the fundamental difference in like the provided catharsis between them and, you know, like visual novels? Is it just that like visual novels will like indulge in some more particular fantasies? You know, say Euphoria or something.
Euphoria is a masterpiece, and not a lot of people actually take my like word for like seriousness. Like, if you actually want a good fucking story with like sex in it and sex as being like a main fucking product in the story, and you're not of the faint of heart, because if you are, please do not. Euphoria is a fucking great like story and a great experience in my personal opinion. Um, Getting back to your question though about like, does it provide like the same kind of like experience? I mean, again, a book can't do the same things as a video game, but on another hand, I find that visual novels particularly just partake in different fucking weirder fetishes that not a lot of people see. And like if I was to get on Hentai Haven and look at look at the kind of fetishes that are trending right now, it
Yeah, I
would
mean, like,
be,
Hentai Haven's just got the normie shit.
I don't know, it's not that normie.
It's pretty normie.
Well, you make me feel like a normie.
Dude,
where am I
you,
supposed to
you
be going for the weird shit?
you got an Anime Bites membership, right? You
I'm not putting that on my computer.
look, I'm just saying, you go to the other options. You go hentai, you go fab, you go decade, you go 1980s, you go filter, right?
Go
And you're
specifically to the
gonna see,
1980s.
yeah, because that's the best decade, obviously. You know, and you'll come across something like, I don't know, you'll come across like Lolita syndrome, and you'll come across like all of the fucking crazy shit in the world. There's like original CVP Momo, um which is like the weirdest animation live action hybrid hentai on the face of the planet.
What the
um
fuck? I've never heard about this.
See, this is why you got to get on my level, you stinking pleb.
All right, I'll have to look
uh,
this up. Um, but cause like, not a lot of this for me, honestly, is like for a sexual reason. I mean, obviously, I will partake, but like most of it's just out of like a pure, like, what the fuck is this and what am I looking at kind of experience. Like, out of like all the different kinds of like porn you can get in the world, I find that like Japanese porn in particular is just the most indulgent. Like
yeah.
like I'm looking at the tags right now and I'm seeing scat as being one of the top ones. And scat's pretty popular too over here, but not as much. Like it's buried. You have to find it or it has to be like dedicated. I'm I think lactation's again another one of those where you have to find but it's buried. More often it's like uh oh my god, I'm gonna feel like a vanilla ass motherfucker. Cause I feel like on the other hand, like what I'm saying is like totally no, it's really popular. You gotta understand this. Netarare really does have the Japanese just contaminated our porn over here? Is this what it's done? See, when you're in this perception of you just see this stuff all the time, and it's just pretty normal to you at a point where you're just like, oh, okay. I mean, yeah, monster girl porn, reverse
Yeah,
rape. Yeah, that's just normal.
yeah, it's common.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, is the good shit. That's what I'm talking about. you know. I don't know. There is like a weird like kind of experimental nature to like a lot of it that I find fascinating. I don't
Mm.
know. Like something like Pop Chaser. Have you ever watched Pop Chaser?
I watched a tiny bit of it simply for the Sakuga parts that like Digi referenced.
Yeah, like I mean, fucking Hideaki Anno animated bits of Pop Chaser. Like, you know. So like there was at least some period where like uh, you know, hentai in specifically was like super pushing forward like the bounds of pornographic media. And I mean, we see the same thing with some cosplay jab where it's like now it's, oh, this is 4K footage, like perfectly cinematically color graded. Like holy shit.
like
Shout outs to 4chan.org/t. You guys got my back.
to kind of reference back into visual novels, though, I think that's the main reason why visual novel art is like the prettiest art, because not only is it like static, but it's there's a lot of care and illustration put into it, and to just look good to the end buyer, the end user of the product. And
Mm.
it like it's almost a shame to see it adapted into animation most of the time, like hentai, I'm meaning.
Yeah. Yeah, like there are some really great fucking hentai artists out there. And whenever their works get adapted, it's just the most disappointing that I experience. I'm just like, guys, couldn't you have just like done it like that? Like the artist behind Seiso Suidansha, like his works, whenever they've been adapted, have just like looked like garbage. And I'm just like, I don't know.
Yeah. No, I mean, the thing is I'm pretty lucky because I'm interested in the really high grade shit, so I'm like really into Clanad and everything, and like air and canon and like the key pieces. Like Harmonia when it came out was really solid and good. And the thing is that because Kyo Annie usually pairs with them, that like the animation is almost guaranteed to be good every time.
Mm.
So I don't know. I do think that the Euphoria adaptation from the visual novel does fall flat on its face with how it adapts the art, because the art is very dark and like almost minimalist and really spatial, but like it doesn't feel like that throughout like the whole of the OVAs. It just feels like just black.
Mm.
Like it doesn't feel, because like it seems like Euphoria to me seems really kind of chasm, like you're looking down in a chasm almost, like with some of the color gradients and especially the themes, that like because the art was at standstill when you looked at it, and now it's an animation, sometimes it can just be so like, what the fuck am I looking at? Like,
Yeah.
it's the same thing with Fruta Grigia for me too. Like Fruta Grigia looks fucking fantastic in its still frames and everything. It's
Mm.
really colorful and really quite pretty. It's like probably one of the better formatted like visual novels out there. But like its adaptation, like everybody just feels really, it's kind of like they took like cheaper figurines and just made them all fancy. Yeah, I'm talking about that one.
Okay. That one is interesting because it's in 21 by 9 for seemingly no reason.
Yeah. It's
Like
weird.
I bought this monitor specifically so that I could watch like movies in the correct aspect ratio, and I find that there are precisely 2 anime in this aspect ratio. This one and Evangelion Q, and not a huge fan of either of them.
I like
Yeah.
Grisia, to be really honest. Like, yeah, again, it is one of those very almost not deconstructive, rather, but like subversive pieces of the genre in itself. But it's really about your taste,
Mm.
honestly.
The specials for it are high quality, I'll tell you that much.
I haven't watched like the anime or anything. I have only played like a portion of the visual novel, and then I kind of stopped because it was just so much text to wade through. Here's the problem for a lot of people who want to get into visual novels too, and they hear about these crazy fucking pieces like School Days and stuff like that, is that there's so much shit to wade through before the actual like crazy shit that people want to actually come in for. It's a waiting game. Like visual novels, you have to have patience. Not a, not a lot of people have that, which is fine. Like, not everybody's a fucking like 2 days to just
Buddhist
read through
monk.
fucking a whole bunch of little teenage girls talking about homework and beating the shit out of each other. So I don't blame them. It's chill. That's
Mm.
cool. I don't know, but I do feel that there is something. I do feel that there is a larger problem though with some of the writing quirks, especially in visual novels that just hook foreigners
Mm.
and they just can't keep going.
Yeah.
Because we're
I think
speaking of visual novels. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but because we're speaking of visual novels on my anime list right now, they have an Air lays the foundation for the Kyoto Animation Holy Trinity, and I'm like, yes, yes. Okay, you go
mm.
ahead. Sorry.
Uh, I think some of it actually has to do with like Western media consumption habits as well. Because like when you really consider like the target demographic of fucking visual novels like within the Japanese market, and then you come over to like America or somewhere, you see that like well you know we have Call of Duty. uh you know, that's what people like to play over here. And those are very Call of Duty and like FIFA and stuff, and those are very non um like they require very little of the consumer, and so like you know they're much more passive consumption than visual novels are.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. So I think yeah, consumption habits like tends towards how we like yeah perceive uh them over here.
It's just really different, really, from Japanese audience to American audiences. Like, of course, like there's something I don't know. There's kind of like a barrier almost. I think there's more value, honestly, to the piece of paper in other countries now than there is, like, especially in the Americas. Like, newsprint and whatnot have still like an actual place in a lot of media, while as over here a lot of things are digital now, and it's
Mm.
mostly what people care about nowadays too.
And everyone's watching their CNNs, their Fox Newses over in the States as well. So they see the printed word as the printed news is worthless. I don't know.
Kind of going, because I didn't actually get to ask you, did you actually end up playing Doki Doki Literature Club?
Nope. I intend to. Jeff was streaming it, and I watched a bit of it. And I was just like, cool.
It's really cool. I'm gonna probably play Kanojo, to be honest, because I want to experience like the legacy of it. Um, what was the first visual novel you exactly like heard about? Was it fucking, I don't know, fucking 4chan one? Was it?
It would have been like Long Live the Queen or Honey Pop would have been like the first one that I really heard of.
Huh.
And like from there I like well, I mean, obviously like Sim Girls was like the earliest one for me. Like that was what got me into the form, but like I didn't really know the term for them. And then gradually um 4chan got me into Nekopara after a while. And then after that, I just like went off the deep end when my friend gave me all of his visual novels on a hard drive. And I was just like, oh God. And then I kind of just now have a passing interest in them.
Um, I remember learning about visual novels first from finding out about Onigai Cherry, or Please Teacher rather, and I was trying to find out more just in general about visual novels at the time, like when I was just getting out of elementary school because I heard about them. Um, and I came across when it was really popular to talk about the whole rape controversy. Do you know about that exactly?
I know about Rayplay, but I don't know about the controversy around it.
So it does kind of fall into visual novels because it actually affected a lot of the syndication for visual novels, like after I think it was '05.
Mm.
So yeah, pretty much. So Rayplay was a 3D aerog simulation video game. It was developed by a company by the name of Illusion, and it was released in '06. So yeah, after '06. And pretty much, I don't know why exactly it was blown up out of all the games that it could have been blown up out of. But pretty much, for people who don't know, it's about a intruder who first starts sexually molesting women on like the train, and then he follows a follows the family to their house, which is like a mother and two daughters, and it's pretty much about like the player character acting out like sexual abuse and stuff like that. It's pretty much technically sexual abuse and rape, like to the family, and that's it. It but it garnered a lot of international attention and controversy, obviously for its content, and it was subsequently banned in multiple countries. The thing, though, that not a lot of people talk about outside of it is that there was a large campaign in Japan about banning and restricting the the bodies in which that could be represented in hentai and erog games at the time, especially. I think it's it did breach the Japanese obligation of the 1985 Convention of the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women. But I believe that there was a few other places. I know that in Australia, under the dictatorship of Melinda Tarkard Russet, I'm kind of looking at the wiki page just to be sure. The distribution was obviously banned in Australia. Because what's
Mm.
not?
I mean, do you have an A cup or less? Guess what? Not allowed in the Australian porn industry.
Yeah, your
Um,
guys' rules are so ridiculous. It's just dumb. It's dumb.
we just need to delete Australia.
um, but like, it really did bring in specifically the our video games harming our kids argument, except our video games creating pedophiles argument, more like.
Oh hell yeah! Because we all know that's how the world works.
It,
Yep. You
yeah.
you see a little girl in a video game. Guess what? You're a pedophile now.
I mean, like, I don't. I the thing about these games specifically, if you're one of those type of people that like, I don't really get why people are so turned on by these obviously wrong like pieces of content that like people shouldn't be consuming and feeling good about. I think it comes down to like if there was a person with the intent of doing those same things that they end up doing onto 3D models, like what's the harm?
Yeah, fundamentally, like it's a form of a catharsis on things that are illegal,
Yeah. Just
as
because like
opposed.
somebody has the sorry, but just because somebody has like the potential to do something and obviously plays it in a video game doesn't mean that they're going to do it. Yeah, I feel you. Sorry, I cut you off. I if
Stop false equivalency in the media. Miyazaki Stomer, not a pedophile. Apparently, according to the fucking Joe, Miyazaki Stomer, maybe not a pedophile. Um, yeah.
But the funny part too was that with Illusion, like they actually didn't even know the game was being sold overseas. They thought it was just being sold to Japanese audiences. Cuz
Hmm.
mostly I guess Amazon fucked up and and put it up for international audiences when it was supposed to be mostly like indie print and only in like hentai shops.
Hmm.
So yeah,
That's actually something I like when I was last in Japan, when I was, 15 years old or so, going into those hentai shops because they did not card, and I did not know where I was going. Um, yeah, the actual like market for visual novels there is like insane.
yeah,
Um, because like you'll be in the downstairs section of a games store, and there'll be like there'll be like the Gundam Fighters games and all that kind of Dragon Quest, all the normie kind of stuff, and then you go upstairs, and well then there's an entirely different story up there.
yeah. It can be
Yeah.
kind of whiplash, especially for the like. It can be whiplash, especially for like the more Western or like European like anime consumer that like comes into like these Japanese stores and like they're just like, oh, there's one level. Oh, there's one level. Oh, all right. Well, not taking the kids up to this level. Let's skip it on the elevator. Like it's
Yep.
just it can be. Well, the thing is that I think there's also a big thing about Japan just being more accepting of the female body almost. Like there seems to be, I mean, obviously they have their own body politics and whatnot that I won't
I
get
mean
into.
the censorship of literally everything.
But like they seem to be I mean, they seem to be a tad more accepting, like about just being like, hey, you wanna watch weird shit? Here's some weird shit. Pretty much. Like you're not gonna get the different like variations of what you're gonna be able to consume like you would in Japan.
Mm.
I don't get Japanese censorship laws when it comes to visual novels sometimes. Like it makes sometimes absolutely no sense.
Hmm.
Almost.
I don't know. They gotta they gotta hide the things from everyone. You can't just go around flapping it out. You know.
It's so like it's just so fucking obvious. And like
Hmm.
there's no point. There's really no point in like hiding something if it's just so literally obvious. In my personal opinion at least. That's me. I don't know. I find it a waste of time. Uh let's see here. Getting particularly back to visual novels, how do you feel about the proliferation of visual novels on Steam in Western audiences mostly?
I kind of like it, but also kind of hate it, um,
Hmm.
because we have all of these, one teenager gets a copy of Renpai and makes a really shitty visual novel and chucks it on Steam, and those are funny. Uh, Lesbian Space Pirate Simulator isn't on Steam, but it is like one of those examples. But I am glad that translations are getting more common.
Yeah.
But I think what they're doing with like what a lot of fan translators are doing, are like, oh, now that there's official, like stuff about it, then like, oh, we're just not gonna, release this. We're not gonna keep up our versions of it anymore, and it's just like, ah, you
I'm
have to get rid of it.
I'm really happy that honestly people in fan subgroups are really sticking to their guns and like once an actual legal translation is coming out for these, like they are just like, yeah, no, we're taking this down. If you do prefer this, contact any of us and we will give you the actual like text and you can mod it, but we're not going to provide this like patch openly anymore. Simply because
Mm.
like whether we like it or not, as people who do pirate media, like stuff like Fua novel and whatnot is mainly tailored to that consumer that has bought the games in Japan or has received them and has followed them for a while and still wants to play the game, but despite it, like, there being literally no way to consume the media in itself, like, that's still a problem with a lot of Type Moon work
Mm.
here, like, especially, like, yeah, sure, the visual novels are all translated in fan subs. I mean, not fan subs, what the fuck am I talking about? The visual novels are all translated in English, except Mahotsuka no Yoru, which Mahotsuka no Yoru came out, I think it was like 2012. It's 2017. The whole thing still isn't translated. It's been translated
Mm.
by one guy, one chapter, maybe every 4 months. Uh, yeah, I'm just happy licensing is getting a lot better for visual novels, especially because up until like very recently, like there was no support at all for visual novels as a medium,
Mm.
and
Yeah.
very chill. Um, I remember being so excited when Higurashi got onto Steam and just fucking. I think I almost bawled. I love Higurashi, and
Mm.
it sells
Well,
really well.
Higurashi had a official translation pretty early on, didn't it?
It did, but it wasn't like open to like Steam. Steam was like the
Mm.
floodgates. Like it literally
Yeah.
opened the base consumer and like most people who just don't go out of their way to enjoy visual novels, like to visual novels. It's like back when the original like fan subbing the original fan translation of like the novels was out. Like you'd have to go through this patch, and then you have to do this, and then you have to do that, and then you had to break the product key, and it was just a mess. Now it's
And
like
then you have to change your system language to Japanese,
Japanese
and then
local. You have to
and
restart your
then
computer.
you have to install a new graphics card because for whatever reason the driver the like requirements for this game aren't supporting the drivers, and so you just like switch it out with some other one, and it's just like, well, now it kind of works, but occasionally there's still a little bit of screen tearing, and why does it keep forcing me to go into full screen?
And like especially with the older games,
Hmm.
you have to
Yeah,
go into
like I
Windows XP mode, and then you have to fucking view it like that, and it's just a mess.
Yeah, I've been playing a couple of 90s visual novels recently, so maybe the issues that I'm talking about are more specific to those. But yeah.
Like newer ones are obviously good. It's just we've gotten no actual support on the older ones, and bringing them in for new software, new hardware, that's problematic in itself. So, mm,
Mm.
I don't know. I wish that there was like more support for stuff like I don't know, because I think of all the like really popular names. Like I remember Ever 17 being really popular when I first got into visual novels. I don't know if it's still as popular as it used to be. Um, let's see here. Um, the the fucking name. It's a long ass name. It's like the lesbian visual novels. Um,
Oh, Sono Hanabira mo Kuchitoze.
yeah, the
But that's
Sonohanabiri
not even
games
the full.
being
Yeah.
really popular. Like
Oh, they're fucking good as
they
well.
are really good actually. Like for H games, like they're not bad, and they actually have a lot of good fluff to them. They're not all just porn. There's a lot of
Yeah.
it, but it's not all just that.
Also, the anime adaptation, fucking good.
It looks really nice,
It's
surprisingly.
it's really pretty.
It is.
Like, yeah.
I want to talk like a little bit just about like aesthetics when it comes to older visual novels, because like there's just something so like I know I'm just gonna say this and people are just gonna shrug and just be like, of course, but like vaporwavy almost about like a lot of the older
Yeah.
pixel art.
Fuck yeah. I actually on one of my on my vaporwave album that you can go and buy at u6378691.bandcamp.com. The album's title is Asuka. One of the remixes that I did was Every Brand New Day, which is the OP to a visual novel from like 1994.
Hmm. I'm sorry. I
Yeah.
was thinking you were gonna keep going for some reason. I was like, wait, what?
But
Um.
yeah, but like yeah, I love the vaporwave aesthetic of 90s visual novels. Like dude, like the amount of times that I've played Princess Maker 2 is unhealthy, but it's so pretty to look at.
Well, like one thing that stands out to me, especially, just from an old retro standpoint, is the frames and how text frames are done in older games. Like, of course, they're still pretty fancy as they used to be, like back in the old days. But like the old days, there was something so like elegant about how framing and like all the like texture aesthetic stuff for the games were done. You know what I'm referring to, like clocks. I'm referring to like the
Yeah.
text boxes, the sprites in particular, like the pixel. I'm pixel. I just love my pixels, but the sprites back in the day were just fucking gorgeous. Like it was
Yeah.
amazing what they could do.
Oh man, I'm trying to think of the sprite work from one of these 80s visual novels that I was looking at a little bit earlier. Let me just remember its name. It had some really great sprite work in it. It was Manji. Manji is the title of it.
Hmm.
Yeah. 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 I really love the sprite work in Manji. Wait. Yeah, let me just send you a picture of some of its sprites. Uh
Hmm. Ah, yeah. I like the swastika.
yeah.
I know it's
um
not. I know what it's for. Yeah, but
but
still.
yeah, it actually has some really high quality sprite work. And a lot of earlier ones, like instead of trying to do stuff like that, they would really try and just reference on paper drawings instead of trying to draw in a style unique to the to kind of the uh system that they were on.
Let me see here. Something I could point out in particular is there are like a few older. Obviously, a lot of people have adopted like some of the artistic flair from like VA-11 Hala, um has a lot
Oh
of
yeah.
that, like where it brings back that almost old school charm of the older visual novels that came out at the time. And it is kind of a life simulator in itself, but it also has just a lot of that value too, as well. It's
Hmm.
obviously one of the newer ones, though.
I mean, it's super vaporwave that game. Um,
That game's so
yeah.
pretty. I like this. I don't know what this game is getting at, honestly. So,
like, sorry. You guys, you guys won't be able to see this
no,
because
you have to
the
put it
images,
in. You have to
the,
like fade it in.
they're literal pornographic images, though.
We'll just
um,
cover them with like I don't know,
yeah,
Locke's head. Cover the
yeah,
boobies with Locke's head. There we
yeah.
go.
True. Ba-
Got it good.
basically, I'm just posting a bunch of images of visual novels from the 1980s that have swastikas in their cover art.
Swats. Yes. Uh, the first visual novel to ever come out was called Lolita Yakyuken, and it is very, very bright colored, and almost
Hmm.
hurts my eyes to look at. Let
Is
me.
that Lolita syndrome? I think it.
I don't know if it is because the title screen says Lolita PSK. So I don't
Um.
know, but you can tell me if it is. Oh man, so
Oh,
dirty.
Yeah, no, that's the English title of that is just Lolita because I was looking through the list and yeah, I know that aesthetic. Yeah.
The
Dude,
aesthetic
that's
of, look, we're gonna just use the primary colors and fuck you.
well that's actually running on a CGA graphic system.
Huh.
So CGA, EGA, and VGA are three different colored standards. Um, and EGA is what a lot of early consoles ran on.
Hmm.
VGA is what we run on now. Um, but CGA was allowed you more colors in your palette, but they were restricted to be a very specific line of colors. Um, and so that's why you get that bright green bed and just that horrible blue. Oh god, I want to die.
If you guys want to experience some retro stuff, we're gonna put in the, like, fucking description this, where you can go and actually play the fucking visual novels from, like, the olden times and experience literally your eyes burning. Sometimes it's very pretty, other times
Mm.
not so much.
Yeah, other visual novels that I've been playing recently include the Evangelion visual novels. And I think that they actually did a lot to push forward the form of the visual novel. Um, yeah.
Are they actually any good? I've never.
Uh, Girlfriend of Steel is all right. It feels like it was written by Kazuya Tsurumaki or someone who helped out on Ava but was not one of the
Ano.
lead writers on it. Yeah, Ano. Look, guys, Ano didn't make the game by himself like how Todd Howard made Skyrim by himself.
It would be really
Um
cool to see Ano actually do a visual novel for fucking, like, anything. Like, I don't care. Just, like, anything. It'd be
well, I
probably really
believe
interesting.
there was for a while some debate online, at least from memory, about like Arno doing some of the illustrations for Princess Maker 2 and whether or not he had done them at all.
Hmm.
But it's most likely that he wasn't doing any of them because it was being developed at the same time as he was directing the clusterfuck that was Nadia. Um
Oh.
yeah.
Huh. It's quite interesting.
Hmm.
Who knows? We may never. Ah.
Well, should we wrap this episode?
I think, guys, we're probably losing steam really fast, but I would like to come to this topic more in the future. So your homework is to actually play some, like, hardcore visual novels, and next time we will talk all about it. So this will probably have a secondary part to it at some time in the future.
We're going to be doing a lot more two-part episodes in this season of Neotaku. Um,
Wow, man, dude, yeah.
yeah.
Um,
So make sure to support us on Patreon, patreon.com/Neotaku, so that we can continue giving you guys more
do
podcasts.
we have the Patreon? Is it already up now? Or, like,
When this episode will be out, it will be up.
sick, dude? I
It
need to
it
pay
it
my
comes out
foods.
it comes out when Joe's episode comes out.
Sick. I'm excited.
And
Yeah.
so this will be a month after Joe's episode.
Yeah. But it's okay, cuz Joe's a good boy and we supported him and we hope to have him in the future. Um do we have any specific topics we are planning on doing it in the future that we want to maybe tell our fans?
No, but you can maybe suggest some
I
topics to
mean,
us
maybe
using
we'll.
hashtag AskNeotaku on Twitter.
I don't know. Maybe we could. I don't know. I don't know, man. We can maybe talk about current stuff. We would love to have more of your feedback. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. About things we should talk about, and possibly get Locke in here because he's fucking editing for Jeff.
That's why you need to support us on Patreon, so we can stop Locke from needing to edit for Jeff.
Yeah, and we can actually have, like, a full fucking room instead of be two dumb nerds who, like, fap off to redheaded neon RGB girls.
Fuck yeah. You know that's what I jack off to. You know I exclusively jack off to Vaporwave.
In the CMKY like color scheme.
Yeah.
Do we have any questions this week that we would like to
No, we
answer?
didn't. We didn't have
See,
a
guys,
single
you need
question.
to fucking step up your game, okay? we're gonna like cut this section if you don't start bringing in some questions.
Yeah, exactly. We're just gonna fucking delete you guys. We're gonna delete the fan club.
Delete.
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 All right. We're gonna go nap.